Welcome to Seeing This. I am the movie mumbo Michael Ornelas. We have the feisty Pisces Erica McMullen. We have the Gerber Babyface assassin Daniel. And today we have an anniversary episode, the 60th of The Sound of Music, the day Erica has been waiting for.
I know.
And just me and Adrian going on faith to watch this movie. Neither of us had seen it. And we have thoughts. We'll leave it at that.
That was going crazy.
We'll leave it at that. Erica, since you're the veteran to this movie, do you remember when you first saw it? How old were you? What's the nostalgia behind this movie?
I saw this movie at a very young age. Like, I've been watching Julie Andrews and just about everything she's in when I was a small child. She's very much a staple in our household. I think I've probably seen every single one of her movies. Um, I love this movie. For us too, I think a huge thing in our family is music. So when there is music incorporated into a film, like automatically it becomes a sing along kind of thing.
Sure.
So that definitely plays into it. And then just kind of her whole story going through and, you know, the times that it's happening in, it's a lot. But yeah,
Right.
I've watched probably just about every Julie Andrews film that she's ever been in.
I'll
So
give her this. She's great. I love Julie Andrews. We have some IMDb trivia about The Sound of Music that we'll get to at the end. It's pretty interesting with the dynamic of her on set with other actors. But Adrian, you hadn't seen this movie before. Neither had I. What? Or
So
you
I
have seen?
haven't
Oh, you
seen the
did
whole
see it
thing.
as a kid.
Nah, I haven't really seen the whole thing. It is a staple, like Erica in her home. My mom shout out mom, is a big fan of like musicals. Her favorite
Okay.
actor is John Travolta from Grease.
Mm.
So like that's her thing. I remember growing up with The Sound of Music. I recognized every single song,
Sure.
but I've never really sat through the whole thing. Um, I think I even, like, text you guys and told you, like, there's definitely a nostalgia factor. Because as soon as the first song kicks off, I'm like, "Oh, time to
yeah.
go play basketball. Time to go outside." Like,
Get triggered.
mom and Tanya are watching that movie again.
Sure.
That's actually hella funny.
That's my cue. That's my cue.
Yeah.
Well, The Sound of Music, 1965, March 2nd, it was released. Adrian, why don't you give us the letterbox details, directors, cast? What's this movie about?
Alright, so we got The Sound of Music, 1965, directed by
Should
Robert
you do
Weiss.
it in an Austrian accent, or should you sing it?
I
What are we
I
doing?
don't got an Austrian I don't have an Austrian accent. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I'll be back.
Right.
I don't have it.
Okay, fair enough. Let's
Alright.
hear it.
The happiest sound in all the world. In the years before the Second World War, a tomboyish postulant at an Austrian abbey is hired as a governess in the home of a widowed naval captain with 7 children and brings a new love of life and music into the home.
But enough about
Mm.
Mary Poppins. It's, again, pretty similar setup as far as taking care of some kids, but nonetheless, this was directed by.
Oh, pause.
I mean, she jogs in.
Don't get free
She, like,
shots.
frolics
No,
in.
no,
She
no.
doesn't, like, drop in on an umbrella, so it
Yeah,
is a little
first of all,
different.
Mary Poppins is literal fucking magic. Like, it's make believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this was directed by Robert Weiss, written by George Herdalick, Howard Lindsay, and Russell Crowe. And then, of course, we have the cast: Julie Andrews, Christopher Plummer, who, if you've seen Christopher Plummer in any like more recent movies, wow, he looks so different back then.
Yeah. Mm.
And Eleanor Parker. And this movie, to Erica's delight, won 5 Oscars, 5 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Leading Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Director, Best Cinematography. Let's get into it. Does the
What
Sound
was
of
it going
Music,
against in 1965? Huh?
I'll let you pull that up, the 1966 Academy Awards, to see what the competition was. But does this movie still slap? Erica, you're gonna say
Obviously, yes.
obviously yes. It-
Um, and it's not even just, like, that nostalgia factor. I think, like, seeing a film like that just is I mean, like, that was, like, my very first introduction to World War II and Nazis and kinda what was happening, like, that was probably, like, one of the very first movies that ever exposed me to that,
mm,
while still being kind of, like, lighthearted enough for me to watch, if that makes sense.
Well,
sure.
yeah, the first Nazi shows up freaking 2 hours into the movie.
The- it does take a while to get around to that plot point, which is a gripe I slightly have. So your reaction, Adrian, you text us while you were watching it and said intermission. How long is this? How long is this movie? So does it still slap for you?
No. I don't know if it slapped in the beginning. Like I said, I feel like it was, maybe catered to like, I'm sure we've had several movies that catered to a male audience, where this one definitely catered to a female audience. So it was not up my alley. It's not I never really thought it slapped. Um, in my opinion, it does not slap.
Not your jam. Not your jam.
Not my jam.
I guess that would leave me as like tiebreaker, and honestly, not to, you know, chicken out about it. But I like if this was our Commodus scale, it'd be an even. I gave it 3 stars on Letterbox. The songs and the music, I think, still do slap considering the time and how catchy they are and like how ingrained in pop culture that it is. But if you remove the music and you remove the Oscar bait of the Nazi story that comes much later, uh it wouldn't slap. So I think the music does a lot of the heavy lifting. Julie
I'll give
Andrews
it to
is
I'll
what?
give it to Erica and the movie. Like, it's a musical. You can't
Mm,
take out the music and then still
right.
rate it and, like, judge it. Like, the
Thank
music
you.
is what it is. So, in that sense, I would agree with you, Mikey, that I would give it an even because of the nostalgia factor, because, like, my mom would slap me if she knew I was like, "No, that movie's garbage," and I thumbs down.
We're gonna
Uh
I
share this episode
mean,
directly to her. Yeah,
is she gonna see this?
yeah, yeah. For out of respect and the time, we'll say it still sort of slaps. It's still sort. This is the first sort of slaps. How about that?
'Cause the
Uh,
music
the music's
still does
cool.
slap. Yeah. And my daughter would dig it just because of the sing-along stuff.
Right, right. I mean, that's the ultimate judge,
But
right? Is that
that's what I'm saying, like, that's a part of it, like, that fun that she brings into the household during a very tense time. Like, even though I know you guys were like, whatever your gripe about, like, the Nazis not showing up, but it's more of like the implied that he's being pressured. And so therefore he's putting the pressure on his children to be like perfect.
yeah,
And it's I think for us, because, like, we know what happens, right? So, like, we know what happens, like, the war, like, starts, things happen, all that kinda stuff, but the fact that during that time, it was almost as though you didn't quite know which way he was gonna go. You
sure.
didn't really know if he was gonna give in to the Nazis at the time of the movie release.
I
You
guess just
didn't know if she was gonna influence him enough to, like, be carefree, cause like, you also have to think, right, at that time, it was decision of survival.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's fair. I just think that doesn't resonate like that pressure and the pressure from the Nazis and for him to essentially join. Like you don't really feel that until like the third act. Like it's very subtly implied in some conversation, but it doesn't really like you don't it doesn't really connect, or at least it didn't for me until like by the time we were rounding third and heading home for this movie. You know what I mean? But let's move forward. The next category we have is actually I didn't even say the Will Smith from the Oscars doesn't still slap, but that was our first category. Second category, this movie's got me all jumbled. The Gladiator 2 Unnecessary sequel. What happens in the sequel?
No.
She changes her name. She changes her name to Anne Frank, and the entire story is the book of Anne Frank and like her hiding in an
One of the
attic
kids. One of the
because they
kids do then.
sure,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah, she's too old at that point. So, like, maybe one of the younger kids or something, like, as they go into hiding, like
Gretel, what the heck was her name?
There,
Gret
there's a lot of kids to keep track
it's
of.
Gretchen, I think.
It's
Gretel.
Gretel. Gretel
Gretel?
Von
Gretel.
Trapp. Gretel.
I
They're Austrian names,
Played by Kim Karras.
So I had something, I mean, kind of not the same, but similar. I was saying that the children are dealing with like survivor's guilt and living in a world post the Holocaust, yet still facing anti-Semitism in their world. That's still obviously a hot topic, uh, in different parts of the world, and obviously
yeah. That could be
used
interesting.
used as different defense points for genocide, but we won't go down that road. But yeah, I think it would be interesting to it's more dramatic, but you can still have a musical. I mean, this was a serious story, so you could still have a musical
Yeah, but you
aspect to
can
it.
still kinda like how Les Miserables, it's like there's not really happy music in it,
Sure.
but, like,
Yeah.
very heavy tones. Like, you could, if you wanted, like, a little darker aspect of, like, that survivor's guilt, that would be kind of a
Yeah.
good
You know
vibe
what?
for that.
Part 2, homegirl's pregnant with Nazi boy's kid.
New kid. Mm, mm, that
That
is.
would
She's
be
16
wild.
going on 17.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got it. Well, yeah. IMDb has honestly the IMDb trivia about this movie was more interesting and fascinating than the movie. Maybe that's a hot take for me, but we'll get
That's
there.
That
your hot take.
is
We'll
your
get
hot
there.
take. Yeah.
The Whip Whitaker from Flight, No Fly Zone. Did anything not age well for you guys in this movie? What do you got,
Yeah,
Adrian?
I'm a girl dad, and forget that whole I need somebody older than me to take care of me crap. Like she can be
True.
an independent woman. She
That's
don't need
right.
nobody
Not during
older and
that time,
wiser to
she
tell her
couldn't.
what to do. Like
Well,
nah.
that's why it hasn't aged well. Like it
She
doesn't.
couldn't at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
that I get what you're saying, like, because hopefully nowadays something like that wouldn't fly, but, during that time, it wasn't even allowed, like, it wasn't even a thought, like, that
well,
was how they found security. But I
well,
do agree with you of, like, the no fly
that's the point of
thing.
the category. It's
Yeah.
back then it flew, now it doesn't. I would also say the having a whistle to call children and women is wouldn't fly. Where's my dinner? That's tough.
Mhm.
That's tough. That's my no fly zone. Let's move forward to
Damn the patriarchy.
the progress, right? We made some progress.
Mikey didn't grow up
Okay,
in the hood.
sure.
Everything came from a whistle.
Well, that's a different kind of whistle, though. That's the police are coming. Let's see. We have the M. Night Shyamalan twist ending. You kind of touched on kind of a twist with yours,
I
Adrian.
like
Erica.
Yeah, I like Adrian's little twist, like, if she, like, found out, like, afterwards that she was pregnant and, like, maybe he didn't survive, like, the war at all or whatever. Because you have
Mm,
to remember, like, he's 17. Like, they were drafting children, like,
right.
there weren't any qualms about that, so it would, like, essentially be, like, a child raising a child in a time where, like you said, anti-Semitism's still really rampant throughout the countries that were infected, and yeah, that would be interesting. That'd be pretty deep.
Mine went a little darker, I think. They end up getting caught, and the movie closes with them boarding a train, essentially going to a concentration camp, and then boom, cut to black. And you just hear the instrumental of The Sound of Music playing as they take off. It's like a sad violin or
Yeah.
See,
something.
I would even take that the next step and be like, you just see them in front of a firing squad while like one of the kids is on the train going by, and then you just hear the music with gunshots.
Oh, interesting.
Like the
The
parents
adults
and
are on
then
the
there's
firing
shit.
squad, and the
Mhm.
Yeah,
kids are on the train or something. Damn,
that'd be
let's do
crazy.
it. Where's this movie?
Dark.
We got some fucked up ideas. This is pretty good
Yeah.
though. Okay.
You're welcome, guys.
No Country for Cold Takes, hot takes. I'll go first with mine. I already mentioned if you remove the music and Julie Andrews, this is a forgettable movie. I don't know if it's a hot take, um,
It's
but
not. That's just
my
like no offense, but
that's
that's
fine.
just like so dumb because the movie does have music and it does have Julie Andrews. So like why even say that?
So my hot take then is that yodeling song that they do with the marionettes and the puppets is the best song and the best scene of the movie. That shit,
I'm
that shit
dead.
slapped. I was with that song. That's my hot take. What do you guys got? Anything?
I kinda liked your hot take where earlier where you were like the trivia on IMDb. Like,
It's good,
Yeah.
was it
better.
really
Yeah.
that good? Like, what's the
I mean,
trivia?
we'll get there. There's some interesting parts. I
I
was like,
gotta
oh shit,
know.
really? Wow. Yeah, yeah, we'll get there. Stick around for the end. Moving right along, the Winona Ryder. I'm stealing this best prop clothing you would take from set. And just because it goes hand in hand with what I just said, I'm taking those puppets. I'm taking those marionettes.
I'm dead. I'm gonna take a page from Adrian's book and go with his, like, the nice fancy, like, suit that he wears at the very end.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He looks so dapper. I would wear that for sure.
That's your Halloween costume. You could be him instead of Sister Maria. Plot twist. Adrian, what would you take?
I was gonna take that handgun that he rips off from the
Of
kid,
course, naturally.
but I figured that was too on point, so I would say, like, the car. I don't know if he's dipping in a Rolls Royce. What the heck
Mm,
is that? Like, that was a
that's
badass
good.
little car that
Yeah,
they was
it
dipping
is
in.
a nice
That is
car.
good. There wasn't too much though. Like when I was trying to look at like what I would want from the set or like costume, like I
The
think we covered
curtain
pretty much.
clothes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll move on to the Castaway recasting. Who would you recast in this movie? I know, Adrian, this is your favorite, but did you have anyone that you would swap out? Especially, you like to bring new people in.
Yeah, I always like to bring new people in, and I always seem to, like, blend this category with the John Leguizamo Need a Latin, because it's always gonna be, like, a Latin, and I'm filling into that recast.
Sure.
Um And I don't know who, I just know the role that would need to be recast, and it would have to be the maid, because she only has, like, a quick little 5-minute,
Um,
like, I don't not even 5 minutes, she only has, like, a minute or 2 really on screen, and it's where she's explaining, like, some of the rules to
mm.
Julie Andrews' character, and I
Sister
would say
Maria.
she needs to be a little more spicy, like, "Oh, the last governess that got kicked out of here,
Mm.
like, you should have seen what the kids did to her,"
Let me tell you,
and
the
have
cheese man. Yeah.
yeah, 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 for sure, a little more spice in that character right there would have been nice.
Okay. Okay. Erica, you have any recasting?
Um, what is his soon to be or, like, what's her name that he's planning on marrying?
The one he was
The
gonna marry,
Baroness,
the Baroness
The
Eleanor
Eleanor
Baronet.
Parker.
Parker.
I'd
Yeah.
want somebody different in her spot, but I can't really quite figure out who I'd want. I think I'd want somebody, like, a little bit more sultry. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, she's a very beautiful woman, but I think I'd
Like
want
a
her
Marilyn
to, like
Monroe kinda thing?
but, like
I already got it. I already got it. And I got so funny enough, I picked this person and then it came up in the IMDb, but Grace Kelly, I think would have
okay,
been great.
yeah,
Grace Kelly, a
but, like
1950s movie star, but she retired by the time this movie had came out, married a
got
prince.
it.
They were going to offer her this role, which is part of the IMDb trivia. So I was very proud of myself to say Grace Kelly
Yeah.
and to think they almost offered it to her. But go ahead, sorry.
Um, I would also maybe, like that could be now that I'm thinking about it, remember how we were saying, like, plot twists, like, different, like, what would be good? If her character turned out to be a Nazi, like, she had, as they're ambushing, like, say we did the plot twist at the end where, like, they all got captured and, like, she's behind it. Almost kinda like how Indiana Jones is, but, like, she's a little bit more deceptive about it. I think that'd be dope. But I
You
would
know,
want
I
her
have to
character
just
to change.
That's fair. I mean, I thought the same. Like she did fun. She did well. Eleanor Parker
Yeah.
did well, but I think like having a bigger name with this cast would have just
I
would
think
have
it would have
elevated
made
the
it,
movie
like,
a
a
bit.
little bit, like, harder for him to leave, you know what I mean? Like, making that
Right.
decision a little bit harder kind of scenario.
he makes it pretty
Yeah.
easily and quick. Like that's a very abrupt, like, oh, she's back. Wedding's off. Next day,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. We're
Yeah,
getting
but he's
married
been
now.
I
Yeah,
mean, but
yeah.
at that point, he had been fighting it for months. Like, he didn't want
So
to,
I
like
got a recap.
okay.
I
Go ahead.
got one.
Let's hear it.
So the daughter kept reminding me of Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Dawn Wells. Dawn Wells,
Mm.
I think of her name, right?
Uh-huh.
She played Marianne in Gilligan's Island. I think she would have played the role because I kept every time I saw her, I kept thinking of Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Like this is a younger version of her. I'm not sure what the timeline would be, if it would fit how
Michael's
old she
checking
would
to
have
make
been.
sure it's not actually her.
No,
It's not her.
unfortunately, in looking at like the recasting for this, when I opened, I said that this won 5 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Leading Actress, Best Supporting Actress, which made me think like, well, wait, why are we recasting her then? Best Director, Best Cinematography is what IMDb told me. Upon further review, the 5 Academy Awards that it actually won was Best Picture, Best Director, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, and Best Scoring of Music Adaptation or Treatment. So Julie Andrews didn't even win. She was nominated.
Wow.
But just to clarify that for all those people that want to come at me on the internet, fact checked it. IMDb, you're wrong. But go ahead. Sorry. So Gilligan's Island, we're recasting her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, love it. Well, I also had, like I said, I think we're all aligned on like that character. Like Eleanor Parker was fine, but someone
Yeah.
more bigger name would have elevated it. The Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito in Twins double feature recommendations. What would you recommend to pair with this 60-year-old musical? Erica, what do you got?
A really random movie that I'm not sure that either of you have seen, but it would be like a really big feat if you had. It's a movie called Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. You guys ever heard of Okay, cool.
You brought this
Um,
up before. You brought this movie up before,
I
yeah.
was gonna say I think I've mentioned it before, but I think it might have been in one of the drafts. But I think this would be really it's very much like a lighter film, like really goofy, funky, but a lot of dancing, singing, fun stuff, maybe to kinda, like, take the edge off of the fact that, like, they just escaped the Nazis, like, all that kind of stuff, so, I would kinda, like, same, like, feel to it, like that upbeat,
Mm,
kitschy kinda
mm,
stuff.
okay. Adrian, what would you pair
Uh,
with this?
I on the same line, a little more upbeat, but similar kind of notion was The Parent Trap, where he's committed to somebody else, and the kids are like, "Nah,
Lindsay
this
Lohan
ain't gonna
Parent
happen."
Trap or the
Then
original?
I like the original better, but I mean, we go either one. It's the same
Okay,
same concept,
Both of
same
them
movie.
are great. We don't have to pin 2
sure.
queens against each other, they're both amazing.
Fair. My double feature is actually a movie I remember watching with my mom. Again, shout out mom. I guess you're gonna have to shout out your mom at some point, Erica. Uh, The King and
Okay.
I. Have you guys seen
Oh,
The King and I? Like, I feel like this movie is very much like we're, kind of joking. Mary Poppins plus The King and I is The Sound of Music. Like, it deals with like historical relevance. She's trying to teach these kids manners or like westernized theories of thought.
yeah.
And then and there's a love story also. So I find that movie much better. Let us know in the comments, King and I versus The Sound of Music. Who you taking? But I think that
I
would
hope
go
we
as
don't tear your ass apart.
bring it, bring it. Yo, next year is the 70th anniversary for The King and I. So get ready,
Oh,
get ready.
I
really?
have the
Okay.
same relationship with The King and I, where it's a staple in my house,
Yeah.
growing up, but I've never really sat and
Time
watched
to
the
go
whole
play
thing. I
video
just know that
games.
the the main actor is the same dude from the Ten Commandments. I know that.
Yul Brenner.
He's from the Ten Commandments, right? Yeah, yeah.
Definitely a
He's
white guy
the
playing a
Pharaoh
brown
or
person.
something? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
king. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and the Ten
yeah.
Commandments. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the Ten Commandments, yeah.
Let's go to our awards. The Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman, big mistake, huge award, the biggest nitpick. I had trouble finding some, and then I found like 3. But Adrian, what do you got?
I have one big one.
Okay.
Right when they're getting married, like, they show a clip of, like, him waiting for her, like, walking down the aisle, and it's, like, legit 3 pews and, like, 2 people, and then all of a sudden, it pans out, and it's, like, this mega church, like the Sistine Chapel with, like, thousands of
Yeah.
people there, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the heck kinda editing is
You're like
this?"
you're like, "When did that happen?"
Like, it was like being in, like a cartoon or something. All of a sudden, it just kept stretching, like, the
That's
hallway just kept
funny.
getting bigger.
It won best editing at the Academy Awards. I don't know what to tell you. Erica, you got any nitpicks?
Um, yeah, just, like, the whole scenario of, like, their capture, like or, like, their
Mm.
almost capture, like, when they're, like, running through
When they're
certain
waiting outside.
areas.
When they're
Yeah,
pushing the
when they're
car.
yeah, just, like, the whole sequence. Like, if I'm gonna complain about
Yeah.
anything, it's, like, that whole sequence just feels very lazy.
That's
That's a
fair.
gangster
That's
move.
fair.
That's an OG move right there is push the
That's like
car out the driveway and start it halfway
sneaking
down
out of
the
your
street.
house move. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
As a
yeah.
teenager. Adrian knows about that. Shout out mom, right? Uh
Driving in reverse the whole time, those parents that check the odometer.
okay, Ferris Bueller. So I had a couple. I think her name's Mother Abbess, the like mother of the nuns or whatever, the head nun. She encourages Maria to just leave and go after love
Yeah,
instead of taking
Reverend
her
Mother.
vows, and which seems very counter to what like the Holy Mother should do. Like, no, you a commitment, you committed. I also said George's turn. George von, what's his name? George von Patten or
Trap.
Trap. Thank you. Sorry, you
Pause.
don't like my first one. Go ahead, Erica. Go
No,
ahead.
I don't like your first one, because that's exactly what she's supposed to do. If she
The only
understands
way
that
it makes
if she hold on a second, if you have a head sister who
Reverend
recognizes
Mother.
who recognizes that your heart is not fully committed to God, it's her duty to help you either figure out how to fix that to get closer to God or push you into the direction for the true meaning of your life. Because if you really think about it, her life was still really much reflected in God's image. Like, what she was doing for those kids was still very much reflective of God's teachings, and so, like, the mother, she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
back-to-back episodes where we're talking about God and God's will. Uh,
It
so
doesn't
I
help that,
understand what you're
like,
saying.
I mean, I was raised Catholic, so, like, I very much
Sure,
understand, like,
we're all Latin. Yeah.
background and, like, what is expected and, like, I worked out a Catholic high school, so, like, talking to the sisters and such like that, like,
Yeah.
that's very much what she's meant to do for her
Add it
sister.
to the Erica's religion corner. Let's add it to the
That's
list.
not what I was raising my
Oh,
hand because
oh,
I
sorry.
had a
Go ahead.
question to the history major.
Yeah.
Um, so riddle me this. This is all supposed to take place in Austria, which is the neighboring country to Germany. Who wh- are they Jewish? Are they Catholic? What is his belief that he's against the Nazis and
I
like he will
don't
never be one of
know.
them?
Did they ever say if Von Trapp is Christian or anything like that? Like his family? Because
I don't
obviously,
think
like,
s-
she
I don't
obviously, Sister Maria is
well, I'd imagine
Catholic.
I would imagine he's not Jewish, otherwise he wouldn't
Yeah,
be in the position that he's in,
they
right?
wouldn't be offering
So he
him
Why?
any.
must be Christian or Catholic. Yeah. The
Yeah,
Nazis aren't gonna like bring in a Jewish person to climb the ranks,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I don't think they really, like,
But
specify that
they're
he's
not German,
any
they're Austrian.
specific.
But it's still Nazis, bro. The Nazis spread throughout beyond Germany. That's so it's not just, you know, it applies to Austria as well.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's a religion, right? So y you could be Jewish in Austria and, like, born in
Could you
Austria, so you don't necessarily, like that's what I'm saying, like, you don't know if he's Jewish or not. You don't
Well,
know
no, so
maybe he's
what
hiding his whole religion the entire time, and that's why they're like, "Hey, you're a head, naval officer, you're gonna come help us."
but they wouldn't
Doesn't
offer
matter
that
what
if
his
he was
religion.
Jewish. The
yeah,
Nazis wouldn't be like,
so
yo,
at that point, like, they had already kind of, like, pinpointed him as, like, a really prominent figure, so, like, a lot of that stuff it's almost like as if it was public information, like, because they took out the prominent Jewish people first and then went
Mm.
their way down, so, like, if he in fact was Jewish, this wouldn't have even been a movie, like, he would have been because he was so high
But
up
this is all
in just his public
before the
figure.
war.
What was that?
Correct, but I think this, if you're trying to claim it as a nitpick, I think the nitpick is what we opened with, is that we don't get enough of like the complexity of the Nazis at that time and like the threat they are at that time in the movie. It's kind of presumed that we understand it, but just from the movie and what it provides us, we don't get much of it until the third act. You know what I
I
mean?
But
It
you're
wasn't a nitpick. My
supposed
nitpick was
to
that stupid ass
assume.
hallway and the ginormous church.
Sure.
But that was just a general question I had as I'm watching it and as I'm like thinking like the you know how it related to it. I'm like, what religion would it
That would
be
have
or
been more for
what is
Sister
he?
Maria getting married in the church, like, that would have been for her, not for him.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And
because
then what
they're
was
getting
Hitler?
married in a
What was
Catholic
Hitler
church.
Catholic?
Huh?
Adrian,
Was
Erica,
I
was
I didn't
Hitler
hear what you said.
Catholic? Like what was Hitler? Was Hitler Catholic? Was he
he was a
like
German Christian,
N
not a Catholic and not a
yeah.
Protestant. In a speech in 1932, Hitler declared himself not a Catholic and not a Protestant, but a German Christian.
so it's like a blend of the two?
I mean,
Mm.
he had a lot of confusing ideas. All right, just to get us
It
on the
wasn't
tracks here.
Christianity.
Correct. I'll just stop. Erica, maybe you won't say this is a nitpick because you'll say, "Oh, this is just how men operate." But George Van Trapp gets to move from one woman to the next with absolutely no consequence. Like, there's absolutely no consequence to him. Kind of like, I'm gonna devote my life to this woman and marry her. Oh wait, Sister Maria's back. Never mind. And then she just kind of disappears. The
I
Baroness is like
mean,
just out of the picture.
I'd drop that bitch for
Here
Julie
she
Andrews
goes.
too.
Sure. Julie Andrews looks incredible, by the way,
I
in this
love
movie.
her.
I get it. I get
Does
it.
she have red
You will
hair
give
or
the,
blonde hair?
I think it's blonde. The dirty
She's
blonde,
Blonde.
ginger,
right?
right? No, I'd say
Blonde, yeah.
she was ginger.
That's your imagination
Um,
running with you.
I mean,
Uh,
it looked like she had red hair when she was a nun. Like she just has this little pomp on the front. Like it looks pretty dang
it
red.
might have
we'll
been
give
strawberry blonde. I don't know.
you guys are
There's a nitpick right there.
nitpick. Her hair color isn't defined. Okay. Moving on, we'll give the nitpick to Adrian's overstuffed church. The John
So funny.
Leguizamo, this movie needs a Latin award. Who is a Latin that you would add to the movie? I'll do mine just because it's of the time. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but a famous Latin actor back then, Anthony Quinn. I think it'd be great if we had him as like a priest that was there at the church with the nuns. Like, we don't see a
Oh.
priest at all. And I think he brings a level of like a level of like not empathy but like trust. Like him as an actor brings a level of trust where like maybe he's the one that talks to Mother Abyss or Abby, whatever her name is, and like
Reverend Mother. Why do we
the
give her a
Reverend
name?
Mother, sorry, like he talks to her and convinces her to talk to Maria to like let her go with her heart, and you know what I mean. So just a way to get a Latin in this movie.
Or
I
like,
think
what
him as
if
a
he
priest would have
would
been
be the
good.
priest who's like opposing the Mother Reverend? So he's like, we can't let her go. We can't do this. And the mother kind of like, no, like go while he's not looking, kind of thing, you know?
I think just because of like the kind of actor Anthony Quinn was, he would be more like he's almost like a Gregory Peck as far as Latin
Okay.
actors go for that time. So you would side with him.
Okay.
He's not much of a
I know the scandal.
antagonist in that way. Yeah. You guys have anybody? Any Latins, or we go with Anthony?
No, I
Quinn?
actually like that one.
We'll go with Anthony.
Okay, love it, love it. The Samwise Gamgee Most Underrated Character Award. Who's the most underrated character? You kind of talked about the maid. I don't know if that's underrated or underutilized because she wasn't necessarily important. But do you guys have anyone underrated character award?
Probably the littlest kids. I think and I
Mm,
think that they're
mm.
just underrated just because, like, not that you're not paying attention to them, obviously, like, they're part of the story, they get their screen time and stuff like that, but I think that they, like, really help carry the story along in certain ways where it's like maybe it would become a little bit, like, dull or slow, and then, like, well, here's the little kids who are gonna, like, make up for that, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure which kid it was, but one of them did stand out. If it was either Lysol or Louisa, kind of like the dark haired brunette girl.
Mhm.
She stood out because she seemed to like kind of speak up in certain times. Like I think she's the one that talked like is like, oh, don't talk about her dress like that, or maybe she mentions the dress at the beginning,
Yeah,
like, oh,
like,
your dress is
defends
fucking
Sister
horrible.
Maria.
Yeah, well, she eventually does. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If we gave it to one of the kids, but if not, I was thinking underrated is maybe even the Baroness. You know, like her character is pivotal to like the love triangle, and we don't really get to a lot of time to sympathize and empathize with her outside of her trying to play with the kids, and she's like, "Fuck this, I suck. I don't want. I can't keep count of what number kid you are and all that."
I would lean on that or the actual sisters when they're like they only have one song where they're dogging her.
Mm.
So I would say that characters like them as a group is probably
The
underutilized
nuns could have
also.
been
Like they
utilized
should
better.
yeah, like there could have been a little more beef and a little more controversy between the nuns themselves instead of being so willing to talk smack
Maybe
and throw her
that's
under the
my
bus
hot
in
take.
song form.
That
Is what?
song could have been better.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is probably one of the weaker songs. One of the weaker
Yeah, and
songs.
not once did they say bitch in that song. Like for sure they should have
What's
said
my
that.
favorite word? Yeah, what do you mean? Too short. Too short.
Bitch!
Oh, right. We will give it to the nuns or the Baroness. They'll split the
Why you
award.
gotta say it like short, bitch?
One real quick pivot. Talking about nuns. Our next episode is going to be one battle after another. I saw it last night. I'm seeing it again with our buddy Manny. I'm doing a twofer before we record. And let me just say, there's some nuns in this movie.
Is Manny the
So much
one
better
with,
than the
like, the
nuns
most
in the
beautiful
sun.
eyes on the planet?
Here we go. It's either the eyes or the hair or the V-neck vest.
Manny, you
Yeah,
are a
probably.
gorgeous
Probably. Yeah.
person, don't let anybody else tell you different.
Erica, his head is big enough and he's got a girlfriend now, okay?
Yeah.
Take it
Okay,
easy.
first of
Take
all,
it
that's
easy.
not me hitting on
Next.
him. Telling him he's a beautiful man, like, that can happen, you guys. I'm not trying to go after someone. Jesus.
Manny's very beautiful. We have very beautiful friends. Very, very beautiful friends and listeners. Talking
Oh,
to you,
thank
listener.
you,
The daughter in
Michael.
Hereditary. The daughter in Hereditary. Oh shit! Moment award. I don't know. They get caught.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
probably when
had
you
I had
find
that.
out her little boyfriend turned, turned on
Mm,
them.
yeah,
You're
I
like, "Ah,
suppose.
shit."
I mean my oh shit moment is when he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He had to tell him like, you'll never be one of them. Like, fool, you already got the gun. Like, get out of there. Like, why do you
Yeah,
gotta say something? And then he said something. I'm like, oh shit,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, right,
Why you
right,
gotta say
right.
something?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I was gonna go with like the wedding's off and ooh, oh my god, but it really wasn't even like that. So we'll go with your opinion. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you could kind of
Just
see it
sucks that it
coming a
happens
mile
at the
away.
end of the movie, you know?
Right, right, right.
3
Adrian was
hours
waiting
in
for
later.
Inglorious Bastards and very disappointed there was no
Just
real.
so
You know
just so
what,
the
though?
crowd knows, just so that all our fans know, Erica promised me, like, we're
Fighting
defeating Nazis
Nazis.
in this movie, defeating Nazis. And so the
I said
entire time, I'm waiting
and
for these damn Nazis, and intermission goes by.
There wasn't
I'm
a lot of
I'm 2 and a
punching of
half
Nazis
hours in,
either.
like, where are these Nazis, and when is one gonna get punched in the face?
Who's getting a black eye here? When's it coming?
sometimes a woman has to trick a man into watching a film that she desperately
There it
wants them
is.
to watch.
From your lips to God's ears, women have to trick men. Moving on, the Rocky
To
Balboa
watch
Gut
a
Punch
wonderful
Award
movie
most
with
emotional.
wonderful Julie Andrews. Oh my god, you guys are never gonna get those hours back of your life. Boo-hoo.
You're right. The
Hey,
Rocky Balboa Gut.
you
Hey,
should have to watch
listen.
2 Ninja Turtle movies.
The Secret
Or
of the Ooze is still on
R1.
the table. Secret of the
Yeah,
Ooze is
No,
still
yeah.
on the table.
no, it's not.
We're gonna
It's
throw a
coming.
double whammy at you and do The Last Dragon and Surf Ninjas.
No.
Surf Ninjas. Wow, that's a real deep cut there. I'm looking up the release date for Secret of the Ooze. Just
No.
1991.
91.
We
Good.
could do so. That would be what the 30th. No, 30,
Next year would
35th
be
anniversary. We
35th.
could do.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you, Math Corner. Appreciate it. Took me a while. Next, the Rocky Balboa Gut Punch Award, most emotional scene. I'll leave it to you, Erica. What was an emotional scene in this movie?
I just get real emotional when she leaves when she leaves the first time.
Like the intermission?
Yeah.
Oh, Adrian was emotional too. Like, fuck, we're only halfway through this. No.
Why?
It's like this weird bittersweet thing because she comes back and they live happily ever after or whatever.
But you don't. But we didn't. Like, or at least I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, you can assume, like, obviously she's gonna come back, but yeah.
But yeah,
we'll give it to
makes
that.
me a little bit
I had
emotional.
We'll give it there, I guess.
Kids.
I would say so. Let's be a little more specific. Are we talking about like when the Baroness comes and tells her like you guys love each other, like you need to leave, kind of a thing, and she's like, I'll roll out. Like that was the emotional part, or are we
I wish I
talking
had your
about like
script, Adrian. I'll roll
like when the
out and bitch. Yeah.
like when the kids get turned away from the abbey, that like they're like, come on,
Yeah,
we can't
kind
see
of
her,
like
like
that
please,
whole
like
scenario makes me sad.
because
That's
that's like a
fine.
10-minute scene.
I'm sorry.
They really
Plus,
stretched
I
that
can't
out.
count
They
the
believe
really
intermission.
not allowed to be sad for 10 whole minutes.
We're talking about a
Jesus.
3-hour movie. We're talking about
That's fine.
And I
a
can't be
3-hour
sad
war
for 10
movie
minutes.
where nobody gets
There's no
shot
war.
or punched, and there's
There's no war.
the Nazis are only in it for 5 minutes.
Shit. I think we give it to her leaving just before the intermission because she's leaving and we're only halfway through the movie. Emotional for all of us. The Coleman Domingo Best Dressed Award. Captain George Von Trapp. We were talking about it. Some of his suits, like he's got that suit with like the green
That man
collar or
is
whatever.
fine
Like,
as hell in this movie.
Christopher Plummer, man. Who'd have thought? Adrian, anything? Anyone? Best
We'll
dressed?
go with him. We'll go
Yeah.
with him.
Beats out Julie Andrews, huh? Okay. New director, Who Dis Award. I know you guys don't really like this one, so if I could take a smack at it. Damien Chazelle, who is an Academy Award winner for La La Land. He directed Whiplash. And to all you Babylon heads out there, Margot Robbie sees you, I see you. Babylon, most underrated movie of the goddamn century. I can't wait till we cover it at some point. But anyways, I think Damien Chazelle getting a crack at this as like experience with the musical, doing La La Land, could give it a bit more energy, make it a bit more modern. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind seeing like, because Pearl Harbor was a really good movie. Michael Bay doing like this actual like
We're just abandoning the musical aspect.
musical. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Which, by the way, I'm
Michael
pretty
Bay.
sure Michael Bay did a Ninja Turtle movie too.
yeah, Michael Bay with The Sound of Music. Yeah, it's coming to a theater near you. I'm very different. You're making up for the lack of Nazi punches for sure. For sure. Okay. Well, I think we'll go Damien. I hope you all trust me on that one. And the Oscar goes to last award. The Oscar goes to award if there were to be. We mentioned 5 or 1, but if you had to pick one Oscar, who would it go to?
Score. Because the songs are still so.
They won for
like that's really what it made the movie. And
what did they win for?
Erica, I had it pulled up.
Sorry.
Pointless thing. It won for director. It
Best
won for
picture.
director, best picture, best sound mixing, best editing, and best score. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it won for
But it
best
can be,
score.
but you can all. It did win, yeah. But you could also pick. Like I had Julie Andrews. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be one that did win. It's just if we had to decide as a group here, the Seeing This Academy Awards, who gets the one Oscar?
The music.
Julie.
It's called The Sound of Music.
What you said, Julie? You say The Sound of Music? Ah, man.
The sound.
I mean, I
what?
had Julie Andrews, but you make a compelling.
Not only score,
You're making
but
a compelling
sound
argument. It's
editing
called The
one.
Sound of Music. Yeah. So for our so I'll say this, Adrian. It already got acknowledged at the Academy. Let's give it to Julie Andrews because she got snubbed and didn't win. And I think without her in this movie,
Does
yes,
she
Mr.
Wait, how
get
can we
Good
say
an
she
Lord.
got snubbed if
Oscar
we don't even know
for
who
the
won?
score
We
if
do
she
know who
sang
won.
the music? You know what I
No,
mean?
because she didn't write it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I
That's
mean,
right. That's right.
yeah, it goes to like the composer. Yeah,
The composer.
Julie Christie and Darling won Best Actress that year. Tough beat. Okay, let me jump into this fun-filled IMDb trivia, and then you tell me if it's more exciting and entertaining than the movie. Christopher Plummer intensely disliked working on this movie. He was known to refer to it as the sound of mucus or S&M, and likened working with Dame Julie Andrews to being hit over the head with a big Valentine's Day card every day. Nonetheless, he and Andrews remained close friends until his death. Andrews claimed that Plummer's cynicism probably helped his performance and this movie, keeping it from being too sentimental.
He looks grumpy the entire fucking movie.
Grumpy throughout it, yeah.
Yes.
Christopher Plummer admitted that he ate and drank heavily during filming to drown out his unhappiness with making of this movie, and found plenty of opportunities to do both in Austria. His costume eventually had to be refitted for his extra weight. He didn't give a fuck. Christopher Plummer admits on the DVD commentary that he was drunk during the shooting of the music festival sequence. Julie Andrews.
You know what?
So keep in mind, Mary Poppins came out.
That's when they're on stage.
You can
and
tell.
The lights are on them and stuff.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
He's wasted. So Mary Poppins came out the year before, but this movie was being made prior to Mary Poppins being released. So that being said, Julie Andrews sang Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to the children in the cast to entertain them between shooting. Since Mary Poppins hadn't yet been released, they just thought she made up the song for them.
Aw, that's actually really sweet.
Cute.
Gullible knucklehead kid.
Cute.
Gullible kid. Wow, she's talented.
Hey, you just made up that word.
I mean, she has a voice of an angel.
Sure. Kids, gullible. Very little background information on the real Captain Von Trapp was known or available for Christopher Plummer. So he took to Salzburg Mountains with an interpreter. There they met George's nephew and asked him what the real man was like. The nephew told him that he was the most boring man he'd ever met. Oh, it's cold-blooded. Chairman Carr, who played Liesel,
That's so mean.
and was 22 at the time. I love it. I think we're at the point of the podcast where Erica's slightly delayed. So you're getting a late reaction. But we're going to make it through. This movie shows Captain Von Trapp. Oh, sorry. Chairman Carr, who played Liesel and was 22 at the time, wrote in her autobiography that she was attracted to the 35-year-old Christopher Plummer, who played her father. Plummer admitted that the feeling was mutual, but insisted that it didn't go beyond mere flirtation. And you could see it at the end when she's kind of like walking out the room and they look at each other. There's a quick little weird incest moment. This movie shows Captain Von Trapp and Maria falling in love immediately. In real life, Maria wanted to return to Nonnberg Abbey, as becoming a nun was always what she desired. She was very upset that she wasn't able to return, unlike in this movie, where it seemed that she wants to leave. The real Maria von Trapp said in interviews that she fell in love with the children and saw marrying the captain as the best way to become a permanent part of their lives. She said at first she merely liked her new husband, only learned to love him over the years. That's such a better fucking compelling story.
Yeah.
Like, give me
That
that
could
Sound of Music.
Yeah, that could be the hot take is, like, her actual story is just way better, but it's a film, gotta
Yeah.
have all that
Yeah.
happy ending.
Yeah, let's get the real story. Dame Julie Andrews nearly turned down the role of Maria von Trapp, fearing the character was too similar to her role in Mary Poppins. God damn it. And then lastly, like I said, Grace Kelly was considered for the part of the Baroness. However, she had retired from acting when she married Rainier III, Prince of Monaco, and was not open to offers to return
Monaco.
to her former profession. And that is the Sound of Music.
I think it's pronounced Monaco.
What did I say?
Monaco.
Thank you guys for
paused.
listening. Make sure.
My video was reconnecting and I was trying to say Monaco so many freaking times.
Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us on all the socials. Seeing This Pod, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and
Spotify.
Make sure also to go to YouTube and subscribe there because I have a lot of interviews from TIFF up there and still some pending on their way. Awesome interaction we've gotten from Instagram on some of those as well, so follow us there. Lots happening. Instant reviews are on TikTok. If you want some insight on what I feel about our next episode, one battle after another, I have an instant reaction on TikTok up there. Letterboxd is updated. Will it change my rating on a second view? I don't think it can. Spoiler alert. But nonetheless, make sure to stay tuned for that episode next week. Until then, stay safe.
Peace.